Hiya, you alright? I get asked all the time if I'll show you how to make Sunday dinner. Well, I'm doing one now. Just a Billy Basic Sunday dinner, it's nothing special. I've got a bit of pork loin, I'm going to roast it in the oven. Slice some onion onto the tray and the meat goes on top. Pat it dry with some kitchen roll or a clean tea towel. A little drizzle of olive oil. I'm leaving the string on, you can leave it on, take it off. It's not a rolled joint, so it's just holding everything together. Bit of salt. Rub it all over. Put a chicken stock cube or pot into the tray, whatever you've got. This is a good bit of pork loin. It's from the butcher. There's no rind on it, so I won't get crackling. For reference, for size, this is the Aldi catalogue. There, that's about that big. It's about 2 kilograms. You want to put some water in your tin. Do a metal tin, then you can do the gravy in the tin. You don't need to wash another pan. So you want to put some hot water in. There's about 1/2 inch of water. That goes in a 240 oven for half an hour. I'm only going to cook that for an hour. 240 for half an hour, then I'm going to turn it down to 200 for another half hour, and we'll see how it is, because if you overcook it, it'll be ruined. Overdone pork is terrible, so we want it to be just done. If it's underdone, you can always put it back in. You haven't wasted it. You've wasted it when you've overcooked it. So half an hour on 240, turn it down to 200 for another half hour. I'm going to get on with some vegetables. I've got a swede I've chopped up, or a turnip, whatever you want to call it. A few carrots. Carrot and turnip's gone into the pan, and I'm just going to slice up some cabbage, and I'll put that in as well. I cook it all together, I don't mess about with separate pans. Veg is all prepared. We've got mashed potatoes, roast potatoes, and all the veg in one pan. I'm the only one that likes stuffing. Can you believe that? So I just have this quick saw, just out of Aldi. I do half a pack at a time because there's no point putting the full pack on. Just hot water into it. Sometimes I'll put some onion in it, sometimes I'll put some apple sauce or some chopped apple or some cranberry sauce through it. It's just as it is today. Give it a good mix up, and then I'll cover that in foil, put a knob of butter on the top, and it'll just go in the oven. Bit of butter for the top. Is that ready? Should we have Yorkshire puddings? I feel like we should, since I'm showing you. So you just need milk. It doesn't matter whether it's full fat semi-skimmed or skimmed, although why you'd bother with skimmed, because that's literally just milk with all the goodness taken out. It's just white water. So semi-skimmed or whole fat. And flour, plain flour. Plain flour, eggs and milk. I always get questions about this, and I can't make it any easier. Right, so get a teacup. This will make enough Yorkshires for 6 people. Fill it to the top with plain flour. Shake it down. See where the level is. It's to about there. Into a bowl or a jug. I've went and put my eggs in the bowl without recording it. But basically you want enough eggs in the cup to fill the cup to the same level as where the flour was. Whether that's 3, 4 or 5 eggs. This took 4. Put the eggs in the cup, put them in there, so 4. And then you want your milk. And you're filling your milk to the same line. Put your milk in the cup. Same amount again, see? Into the jug. That's it. Salt and pepper it as you want. I have put horseradish in it before, and I didn't think it rose as well, so I wouldn't do that again. Give it a whisk together. Here's your mixture. I'm going to put it into a jug because it's easier to pour. Set that aside until you're ready for it. You can put it in the fridge, but I don't bother. Don't worry about any tiny little lumps in there. It doesn't matter, they'll disperse in the cooking. but that's another job done, ready to go. This meat's had half an hour. I'll just turn it down to 200. Let's have a look at it. Look at that, it's had an hour. That's done. This meat's cooked. Wrap it really well in foil. Cover it with a tea towel. That'll stay happy just like that until the rest of your dinner's ready. So I've got an hour to cook my potatoes, my vegetables, get my stuffing done, my Yorkshire puddings, and it frees up my oven, and this meat's lovely and happy. And it only took an hour. Half an hour into a hot oven on 240, turn it down to 200, and then it'll go nice and tender wrapped up there. And this is what we're going to make the gravy from later. The potatoes are parboiling. I've got some oil in a tray and I'm going to put it in the oven to heat up. Take the hot fat out of the oven. I've drained the potatoes. Be careful. Hear that sizzle? Pop them into the hot fat and turn them over in it. They go back in the oven for about 45 minutes, turn them over halfway, and they're ready when they're crisp and not before. Turn your oven up, it needs to be on 220. Heat the oil up for the Yorkshire puddings. I've put a little bit of oil, can you see, in each one. Give it a swill around into the oven to heat up. Pop my stuffing in as well. It'll keep safe with the foil over the top. With the oven being on so high, it would just burn without the foil. Right, this is hot, sizzling. I've a little bit of mixture left, so I could make some more, or I could keep that for some pancakes. When your Yorkshire puddings have been in 15 minutes, turn the oven down to 200, just because you don't want them to burn on the top and be raw underneath. You want them to cook all the way through. Remember your meat tray, that's got all the lovely gubbins and onion in there. That's going to make good gravy. So first, we want to make sure that there's no lovely juices in here, so unpick a corner. This is still red hot, by the way, and just tip all those juices out. Cover it back up. Put heat under this gravy, and I've got the water from the vegetables here. Putting some of the water of the vegetables into the gravy. We like a lot of gravy. Don't want cabbage in there. I've turned it round onto a higher heat. Now you can keep the onions in there if you want, or you can fish them out. It's up to you. Give it a bubble and scrape all the gubbins and goodness off the bottom of the pan. This is what I use. Quick Sour gravy granules. Whisk them in. Keep stirring it. If it's too thick, add more water. And you don't want any little lumps. Give it a taste. There's nothing wrong with using a gravy granule. Don't be ashamed of it. A lot of good chefs use it. And it makes plumbing good gravy. Let's cut this meat. If there's any more juices, pop them in the gravy. and it's still hot. I'll just cut the string off because I don't need the string. Let's have a slice. See, that's cooked all the way through. And this top bit is nice and crisp. Let's have a little taste. That's gorgeous. Can I show you how juicy it is?